I've written a new introduction to the book. Baki kitab se. We didn't do it in this room. They required a different landscape, so we did it in our main drawing room.
So we are obviously very concerned about what's going on, and it seems to be something that's like it just didn't end with a few hours of raid, which we have seen it with other outlets in India as well. You know, we've seen raids in News Laundry, we have seen raids at with the Wire, we have seen raids at the News Click, and those usually would last a few hours, but this has now gone on for 3 days, and it's still there is no talk about it ending. So we're really concerned. These searches were not just limited to non-editorial devices; they were also going through editorial devices. Almost everyone on the editorial floor had their devices being scanned by some authority, somebody from the authority. So that's why we are very concerned, and we are monitoring the events as they unfold. So there are a lot of these steps that have been taken by the government, either by bringing in more regulation or being using legal loopholes to go after journalists as well as news outlets. And that's really kind of this has created a sense of fear among journalists, and that's something that that it cannot really be ignored. And you just can't keep on claiming that, oh, everything is hunky-dory, we are still the biggest democracy on a pandemic. So unfortunately, this is becoming a trend. I mean, there is no shying away from that question. I think it sends a very wrong message. It sends definitely a wrong message, especially the year that India it has the presidency of G20, and one of its theme is basically mother of democracy. I mean, you're certainly not a mother of democracy or the world's largest democracy when you're going after journalists with this fervor.
There have been various occasions in the past where the state came down very heavily against press freedom. There have been occasions when regimes of the various times were quite open to the idea of press freedom. But since 2014, there has been a steady decline in the extent of press freedom, and the current regime in India, the political regime, the central government, has increasingly turned its wrath on the media. We have to understand that an independent media cannot flourish until and unless it gets support from society. In the last 8 years, we see that the society is not so much interested in facts and the truth, but is essentially become very addicted and very comfortable with the narrative of untruth that is going on in the society.